Hello class. Today we're looking at lesson 6-5, circumference and area of a circle on page 238. What you'll learn is to find the circumference and area of a circle. New vocabulary is circumference, diameter, radius, and pi. So why learn this? If you learn how to find the circumference of a circle, you can find how far you must travel to move all the way around the circle. In a picture below, a Sacagawea dollar rolls along a surface. The distance the dollar rolls is the same distance around the edge of the dollar, the distance in the coin's circumference. Circumference is the distance around a circle. A diameter is a segment that passes through the center of a circle and has both endpoints on the circle. So here is the diameter. Goes all the way from one point on the circle to another point on the circle. A radius is a segment that connects the center of a circle to the circle. So here's the center, and then there is the radius. For the same circle, the length of the radius is half the length of the diameter. So the diameter goes all the way across. The radius is just half the diameter. So the radius and the diameter. Pi is the ratio of a circle's circumference, c, to its diameter. Use the symbol, and you'll see this symbol right here, for this ratio. So we call that symbol the pi symbol. So pi equals circumference divided by diameter. The formula for the circumference comes from this ratio. Okay, so for your notes, this is something that you'll want to write down. The circumference of a circle. The circumference of a circle is pi times the diameter. So circumference equals pi times the diameter, or 2 pi times the radius, right? Because the radius is just half of the diameter. So either one of those will give you the same answer. And this is what you need to remember about pi. Pi is a non-terminating and non-repeating decimal. Both 22/7 and 3.14 are good approximations for pi. Many calculators have a key for pi and display it to 9 decimal places. Your results will vary slightly depending on which value you use for pi. So if you were to take this information and put it into the equation, what it's going to be is the circumference is equal to 3.14 times the diameter. So anytime you see pi, you can substitute it with 3.14. Okay, so finding the circumference of a circle. Find the circumference of the circle using 3.14 for pi. So they're going to tell you exactly what to do there. So our circumference is 13 meters. So our formula, the circumference is going to be the radius times, the pi times the diameter. So pi, 3.14, times the diameter is 13 equals 40.82. Find the circumference of the circle using a calculator's pi key. So if you are able to, and even on your cell phone. My normal calculator, if I'm looking at my phone normally, does not have pi on it. But if I turn it to the side, then the pi key pops up. So hopefully yours does the same. So this one only has the radius. So we have to remember we're going 2 times the radius, or 2 times the whole entire problem. So the circumference equals 2 times pi times the radius. So if you were to type in your calculator 2 times pi times 5, you are going to get 31.4159265 So round that to the nearest tenth, and the circumference is about 31.4 feet. So let's do a quick check. Find the circumference of the circle at the right, round to the nearest tenth. Go ahead and press pause and see if you can figure that one out on your own. So I'm going to go ahead and use a calculator, but you can do it either way. And so what I did was I used the equation circumference equals pi 3.14 times 9. So I did 9 times pi equals on my calculator, and it gave me 28.274333882308114, but it said to round to the nearest tenth. So 7 makes the 2 go up. So my answer is going to be 28.3 meters. Okay, so if you cut a circle into equal sectors and place them side by side, you make a shape that is close to a parallelogram. The length of the base of the parallelogram is half the circumference of the circle. So 2 times pi r, so what we got was the 28.3 here, divided by 2. Or the 2's will cross out, so it just gives you pi r. The height of the parallelogram is r, the radius. So the area of the parallelogram is pi r times r, or pi r squared. The area of the circle is pi r squared. That is what we need to know for your notes. And here we go. It lists it for us. The area of the circle. Area equals pi r squared. The area of a circle is the product of pi and the square of the radius r. So be sure to write that in your notes. Pause this video here if you need to. So finding the area of a circle. A standard circus ring has a diameter of 13 meters. What is the area of the ring? Round to the nearest tenth. So we're taking the equation and we are going to, first we need to find the radius, right? Because this is the diameter, and our equation uses the radius. And we know that the radius is half the diameter. So the radius is going to equal 13 divided by 2. So we get 6.5. So we're now going to plug that into our equation. Area equals pi r squared. And so anytime you're squaring something, you're just multiplying it by itself. So if you have a calculator that does square, you're welcome to use it. Otherwise, if you look right here, all you're doing is 6.5 times 6.5. And then you're multiplying that by the radius, which is 3.14. So on the calculator, this is the number that it gives you, and we want to round to the nearest tenth. The 3 does not make it round up, so it stays the same. So our answer is about 132.7 meters squared. Remember, with area, we always do the measurement length squared. Okay, why don't you please press pause and see if you can do the quick check on your own. Come back to me when you're done. Okay, so you should have come up with the equation area equals pi r, which is 12, squared. So 12 times 12 is 144, and then you multiply that times pi, which you can do on your calculator, or multiply by 3.14, and that is going to equal 452 meters squared. Okay, so checking our understanding. Number sense. Is it possible to write out the exact value of pi as a decimal? Explain. So we said that there was a number that just kept going, right? That's what pi is. If you divided 22 divided by 7, it just keeps going and going. It doesn't stop. So the answer is going to be no. And the reason is pi is non-repeating and non-terminating. Sorry, my writing is not fabulous with this pen. Okay, identify the radius, diameter, and circumference. So really, it wants you to just put them in that order. So let's do the radius, diameter, circumference. Okay, so the radius is going to be half the diameter. So this one, the radius is 1, the diameter is 2, the circumference is 2 pi. The diameter times pi. Looking at number 3, the radius is 2, the diameter is 4, circumference is 4 pi. Number 4, we are looking at the radius, half of one number. 3.5 looks like it's half of 7. The diameter is 7. Now they've tricked us a little bit. They've multiplied 7 times 3.14 and gotten 22, which is the circumference. And then the last one, the radius, so it's going to be half of one of them. So the half is 1 divided by pi. The diameter is 2. That's twice as big. And when you divide that out, multiply it to get the circumference, you are going to end up with 2. Your homework is going to be number 6 through 18. Please let me know, reach out if you have any questions. Otherwise, please go ahead and either submit your work through Schoology or take a picture of it and text it to me.